How's it going, everyone? Today it is Thursday, June 27th, 2024. Let's get into the picks from yesterday. So, first one I gave was MU as a time spread. So if you had the time spread, I got in for 83 cents debit. I got filled on the open. I had an order out for maybe 40%. And I actually got filled at around 60%. So I got a really nice fill on MU. But regardless, a lot of people got 50% on this guy. So this should have been a pretty nice win. And this is a pretty classic setup, I think, for an earnings time spread over here. So MU, nice win that we got. Let's take it off the list. And I'll actually, before I do that, I'll just show you here. Here's kind of where I got in. Here's the intraday chart, and here's where I got out. The bid-ask spread is pretty wonky because I got filled pretty much right on the open, and this is when the first candle, a lot of volatility, super wide. So you can see I had an order out for about $1.16, and I got filled at $1.35. So very nice win on MU. Probably one of the better earnings time spread wins that I got. Next one that we had was, let's remove that guy. I called Amazon as a day trade long here on an HA reversal or any sort of pullback. You can see that yesterday. When I called it out in the video, I was hesitant to take Amazon simply because the stock already had made a pretty big move later in the day. And it was somewhere over here. So I figured, like, look, I'm not going to push my luck here. The stock had made a pretty nice move. I kind of missed my entry point. So if we get another little dip, then that's a nice opportunity. And maybe get something over here later in the day, but this is a very weak reversal, so I wouldn't trade it. Ended up being a no trade. If you had it as an overnight swing, you could probably take profits on the open. But yeah, Amazon was a no trade. We just simply missed the window. Really nice flat open when parabolic. Compress for a second on this compression break, get a little bit of a retest over here, breakout. So anywhere here or here, this is some nice entry points to get in on the stock. And there was a nice move up in here, bearish engulfing candle. Okay, volume gets erased decently quickly over here. So you know that this is where you got to start to take your profits, and you notice that the trend strength starts to wane over here as it starts to go flat. That is your warning sign. mRNA. mRNA was very nice. Let's zoom out to the daily chart real quick. We got this nice breakdown through the 50 SMA on heavy volume. Yesterday, there was a couple of opportunities to get in on mRNA. I mentioned an HE reversal, which didn't quite trigger, but an LRSI pullback certainly triggered. Ended up taking the stock right around here. And this was the setup that I saw on the charts at that time. Market was flat for the day. This had a nice big candle, green candle solo. Pretty much did nothing for a while. It was pulling back and now started to lose its relative strength. What I really liked here is that this we had this initial pop, and then the volume started to wane. I noticed these high volume candles, these high volume dojis that don't really go anywhere, right? So it's like so much volume, and we're not getting any output from it. That means buyers are trying to push this up, and sellers are coming down even before the low of the day. So this low should have been a retest level even before the low of the day, and they're knocking this back down. So, this high volume compression is telling us that sellers are pounding in, and then there's only a matter of time before they overwhelm the buyers, and then we get the next leg lower. So we got this low volume green candle and this pretty good volume bearish hammer here, which tells us that sellers are starting to turn the tide. So I thought this was a pretty good entry point. I'm close to support over here at 126, so that's where I would take my loss. And I rode this guy down. Couple of trends here. You can see that we got this high volume, this candle here that produced. We got this high volume bearish hammer, which is a little bit of a sign of strength, but it still tells us that the trend strength is on our side. This lower volume green candle over here tells us that, look, we got an okay amount of volume, but not as high as this, a little bit higher than this. So it just tells us to be a little careful. And then we get confirmed that the trend is still here. Pulled back to the 8 EMA. We get a nice red candle on heavy volume, fall through in heavy volume. And then this is actually where I started to take profits on the stock because I got the super high volume doji. It's close to the end of the day and we're close to the low of the day. So I figured that This is a good time to take profits. Ended up continuing onwards, but it is hard to, at the end of the day, because the volume is ramping up. You kind of have to compare RVol to RVol. So I figure that this high volume doji, okay, yeah, maybe this is a good time to get out of the trade. So mRNA should have been a very nice win. And this is a good one. I think I posted a chart in the chat, but this is a good one to study to see what are some of the clues on this stock. There's a couple of major clues that I liked in terms of using the volume price analysis of we got this really strong trend strength, right? Rising volume, this low volume bullish, not really quite a bullish engulf, but low volume solo gets smacked down in very high volume. Volume is ramping up. And this key, one of the keys over here that I saw at 150 was we got this super high volume doji, which means that this should have been a long red candle, right? Because usually long candles have long volume because there's a lot of activity needed to push that up. But we got a ton of volume over here and not a ton of movement. So that is a nice sign of weakness, and it's confirmed by this high volume bullish engulfing candle. That's almost the same volume if you compare bar to bar to that 145 candle. And this is a much longer candle than over here. You're like, all right, what if this is a solo? All right, even if this is a solo, look at this next red candle. We can't quite engulf the whole thing, and it's far lower volume. And then we engulf this back pretty quickly. So here, you should have definitely been out. And then this is where some of these sellers get flushed out a little bit. So there's some of the clues here. I have been looking a lot at volume price analysis. I might make a video on my thoughts just separately about it because I've been using it in my day trading and it's really helped. But even if you know nothing about it, you just know that, hey, this is a strong trend on heavy volume. Get in on this pullback and then get in on the next leg. So mRNA, nice win. Let's take this guy off over here. All right, so current picks that we are in. First, let's look at you. You still consolidating on the daily chart. Can't quite get past this initial candle. We're going to zoom out a couple of days over here just to see what the heck's going on. And we got this kind of pretty decent, pullback over here. Here's the 8 EMA. And now we're just testing this level a couple of times. Looks like we tested it once here, tested it once here, tested it once here. So we're getting a couple of tests. I do want to see this break through, right? The longer that we don't break through it, that tells me that sellers are, or buyers are a little bit more engaged than I thought. I may have to still, get out for a tiny loss. But right now, we're just consolidating over here. We're just compressing for a while, and then I'm waiting for you to get that next leg lower. I still think we're going to see the double top, and I just have to be patient on this. So, trading this is as much a reminder to me as it is, I don't want to use the word advice, but it's really just a reminder to myself to stick to the strong trend strength and then see, just see what happens on that next leg lower. So not really any management to do to you. We're just watching on that stock. AEO is coming down. So after this bearish engulf, we're seeing some selling over here, especially while the market has been dead. The volume has been pretty low. Here's the volume today. Trying to get through the low of the day over here, which is not quite able to do. But here's the pullback. Here's a consolidation, and now we're moving down lower. So this move down lower is not super strong, in my opinion. I wish I saw something like this, where we got a lot more speed, a lot more strength, right? Long red candles, good volume. That would give me more confidence. So because I haven't seen that, I'm less likely to think that we're going to break through this low. So as of right now, I'm probably going to move here's my initial order somewhere over here. So I'm actually going to modify my order and probably move it up to the low of the day right now because I'm not seeing a ton of strength. So if I can get maybe a small win on this, maybe a 20-cent win on this, I will take that. I will certainly take that. So that's our game plan for AEO right now. And again, if we do see some strength coming through, then we'll change that game plan and we'll actually make that target more aggressive. So we're just watching the price action here. The weaker the price action, the more passive our target. The stronger the price action, the more aggressive our target is going to be. Okay. What the heck the market is doing today? Let's zoom out again. D1. I know it's really quite marked up over here. But the main thing you have to know is that we are in a compression. And I'm just going to pull up a new chart here. Actually, I guess that didn't help because I didn't. Yeah, it did not help at all. I thought I could remove some of these drawings. If I delete this for right now, all you can see is that look, we're chopping around the A VWAP E that anchor to triple witching, and we are in this compression zone. So we've just been compressing for the past 4 days. Haven't been taking really any swings. I've only been taking either an earnings time spread or I've been taking day trades on very strong stocks or very weak stocks. And if you zoom into the M30, I like seeing this because you can see the price action for the past couple of days. You can see that once we've broken this range, here's a pretty wide range, and you can draw it in a couple of ways. There's a lot of different ways that could be right to draw this, right? You could draw it like here, or you could draw it like here. That is a more tighter range. If you want to draw a wider level right here, this could also work pretty well. So there's a couple ways you can draw it. I'm going to draw it like this because it seems like this is where we get the stronger reversals. And so that's what I'm expecting today. We tested the top of range. We didn't break out. We're probably going to see some selling pressure to the downside, and then it's going to wane. It's going to wane for a little bit. And here's the selling that I see. So right now, we're already getting some tails right now. We're forming a couple tails. There's some volume coming in on the market over here. And I think we may see something like this, where we get the rejection, we get maybe a long solo, and then we just do nothing for the rest of the day because we're just in this chop zone. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen today, right? We're getting over here. You can see we get this little triple top here, 1, 2, 3. Try to get past it, can't get anything going. Then we break to the new low of the day. And as you break a whole bunch of tails, you can see that the volume is low. The price action is mixed. Lots of tails and wicks. Direction is very, very weak. So not a very high probability day, to say the least. But there are pockets of strength and weakness that we can try to take advantage of. So first thing here, market is pulling back. And since we're in this range, a couple of things here. We're looking for some tails above body to find support. So we're getting some tails here. I want to get a stock that is relatively strong. So I'm going to go to my tags first. The first one that I like a ton is PanW. So this is one that I'm in right now. Pulling back here a little bit with the market, but it's still very strong. And what I do here is probably set an LRSI alert. So I'm going to set that alert here. So when the stock finds some support, and we get another bounce later in the day, I think PanW could be a nice long, and you should be able to get a couple of bucks on here. So I like PanW. Just wait out this pullback phase over here on the stock. So that's kind of one pick I like. Annette was pretty nice. It's pulling back over here. It's not the strongest. It's not the weakest. It just seems like it's really trying to confirm this breakout. Here's this blue candle is the 5-day high. So it's pulling back to the 5-day high. I'm also going to set another LRSI alert on this stock. I hope I don't have multiple alerts set on this. Yep. Okay. That's looking good. I'm just going to remove some triggered. Nice. Okay. So watching for that. If it doesn't break through, it doesn't break through. S is quite good as well. S, now you can see, is pulling back. It's testing the SMA breakout. Same thing. I don't know if I have an alert set on S here. All right, so I'm going to set an LRSI alert on S. So these are all stocks that are strong stocks, right? We get an okayish market moves, which causes at least a little bit of pullback. And then we know that the stock is strong. So once it finds strength, you can get in and sell into strength here. That would be my game plan. So these are some good looking stocks. There are some stocks that were okay later in the day or early in the day. Now they've kind of given up some of those gains. Microsoft has been one of them. Lilly we like as a swing, but we want to clear that level. Yeah, same thing with Meta, pulling back over here. So with these stocks, what I'm going to do is actually create an alert. I don't have a VWAP alert, so let's do that. Let's see if it closes above VWAP. Oh, I could be interested in Meta, but I think there are better charts out there. Let's look at some bearish charts. Elan is one. Oh my gosh. I had a bearish explosion earlier in the day. Yeah. Wow. So we got this big move lower. Now we're testing this SMA over here. I like Elan quite a bit. Let's set a bearish LRSI alert, which I think is this. Yep. So that could be my short pick of the day. Huge move already, though. So we'll see how much is going. But, I mean, I do not underestimate this type of strength and this type of volume on this stock. WBA. WBA is pretty nice. Yeah, pretty nice. You can see that we're getting these higher lows. We're getting this descending triangle. So I'm going to set an alert for the low of the day. If it can crack through, that could be a pretty decent short. Let's see what else we have over here. Carvana was looking good, and then it really sold off over here. So it's struggling to get through this all-time high. Let's see what's strong right now. Let's see what's strong, and let me edit this watch list here. All right, so let's see, DNLI, and we're just trying to find a nice, relatively strong stock here. It's looking pretty good. It's getting through some levels over here. M5 is a decent grinder. ESTC. And let's let's look at I want to see top of the range, and I want to see a high volume of above 1.5 ideally. That'll really get me in the stock. So ANLY is continuing up onwards. This is, I say, flat open, tested the bid, and now it's just been grinding higher the whole day. Okay volume. But the volume has been very high recently, so that's why some of this R vol is a little bit lower. What else? What else? Zeta. Okay, let's take a look at Zeta. Some high volume today. Breaking out. I think it has to get through some of this horizontal resistance here. So I'd set an alert for this gap. I think if it gets to the gap, that may not be a bad one. What else has some nice volume? Let's actually edit the search so I don't have to do a manual filtering. Let's put RVol of 1.2. Scan. All right, so we have 8 items. That really narrows down our list here. Let's take a look at how these look. The D1s here. EW that's a nice move up higher today, breaking through the trend line. Full has some work to do, get to the AVWAP E. 6, is this 6 flags? Wow, has to get through that line. So let's set an alert here. SPR, that's industrials. Could be better. Don't love that chart as much. ALNY is nice. And Credo. Bring it out here. Decent. It is decent. All right. So, I mean, let's see what's on the bearish side here. If I can get anything better than what we have. OPCH has to get through that. EL. EL has to get through its trend lines. PRGO. It's kind of choppy intraday. Not a bad breakout, but this is a pretty choppy stock. You can see it breaks out over here, then pulls back, breaks out, and then pulls back. So, not a huge fan of this guy. You'd probably want to enter it on pullbacks. All right. I mean, so if I have to give a pick, and by the way, there's not really any good earnings time spreads today. Nike has the times exceeded is far too high for me. If I have to give some picks, I am going to go with. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with S as a day trade on an LRSI alert. And that is going to be my day trading long. And I'm going to go with WBA if it can break through its low of the day. Let's add that to our picks here. So S long, WBA short. All right. So those are the picks for the day. Still remember to keep it light. And look, if you haven't made any trades, just keep marking some charts. Keep analyzing the trades that are doing really, really well. And then that's how you can get in on them. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching, everyone. And we'll take a look at these guys tomorrow.